So let me just give you a little bit of context, okay? Context is this. We have sort of curated liquidity, and Cengiz, one of our co-founders, actually alluded to some of this information.
Genius.
That you can literally see in CoinGecko. You can just go on there.
I'm just going to interject here. Nihat and Cengiz, geniuses. Like seriously, those guys are like out of this world with the way they're thinking about this stuff. So
yeah. Essentially, we curated liquidity that actually can automatically move with the market, unlike an AMM. Because AMMs don't automatically move, that means impermanent loss, maybe for some other session. But we have professional market makers who move with the market, and they use a lot less capital to provide a much tighter price with much better depth, right?
Yep.
And up until a few months ago, right before we started SimpleSwap, this was a theory. Now it's facts, right? Like I just set the last couple of hours, and actually, let's do this. I picked an AMM that we are basically collecting prices from. Then, of course, we have the SimpleSwap prices that we're collecting. And when you put them side by side, the difference you see is massive, okay? And when I say massive, I'm talking about bull market multipliers. In lower volatility times, the price that you see on SimpleSwap can be anywhere from 5x to 50x better, okay? Imagine half a basis point against 40 basis points in the alternatives, right? Now, just to sort of walk you through what this price tells you, it's literally blue and red are prices pulled from an AMM. Green and purple are prices that are captured from SimpleSwap. Under SimpleSwap is the central limit order book liquidity provided by the market makers that we have, whether it's community or contracted, doesn't matter. And when you look at prices like this, and if, for example, I get rid of the bids, the best way to buy the price is to buy it at the cheapest possible price, right? What you're seeing here is sale price for AVAX against USDC on Dexalot. Here, for example, at this point is 923 when you get 928 at the AMM. 5 cents difference for $10. You may say $10 is too small, bro. Who trades $10? $10 is the, mathematically speaking, knowing the math underneath the alternative ways of trading in crypto, $10 is supposed to be the best price because, AMMs typically have curves that actually go exponential over time. If you increase, and again, I'm going to get rid of the bid, the picture doesn't really change, right? And if you go up to, $2,500, again, get rid of the bid.
Wow.
Picture doesn't change.
Yeah.
Now, if you put the prices back in, the SimpleSwap prices being between the AMM prices mean SimpleSwap simply has better prices. Once I was able to capture this data and once I was able to see it, I realized this is not even really the competition. But if you look at other assets, the difference becomes way more drastic. Like if you look at $2,500, which is so far what we've allowed SimpleSwap to have really good prices. And again, we're just launching. This number will increase. Like, look at the difference. Like the prices bid and ask that you get on SimpleSwap, mind-boggling. And I'm going to show one more before I stop.
CK, I'm just going to interject. CK gets it. CK has always got it, so no surprises there. But
CK has figured this out a while ago, actually.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to figure out what is the best way to get this information out to people. But look at stable swaps, right? For $2,500, the half spread is about. Actually, I can do this. Show you instead the basis point spread. Yep, there we go. It is like a few basis points versus, again, massive difference. Like if you just look at this is 8, this is 60. What is 60 divided by 8? More than 7. 7x improvement, right?
Why is excuse me if I'm an idiot here, but why is the AMM giving prices that are always like in 20, it's like always moving 20 bips?
There are a couple of reasons. It depends on which AMM you look at, but concentrated liquidity AMMs have a minimum bin distance, right?
Okay. Okay.
Who said paint? Somebody said paint. So think of it this way, right? Think of it this way. If you have bins like this, and I think this is Uniswap V3, right? If you have bins like this, and this distance is 20 basis points, if your size is large enough, between bins, there's always going to be a 20 basis points jump, right? Versus if you go to, like, stable swaps are not great to see. If you go to Dexalot, so for example, between $250 at basis points, it's around 4.5. And then you go to 500. AMMs move, but Dexalot doesn't. Because there is no bins. There is no like discontinuous liquidity curve in our solution. And this is why TradFi uses this type of solution. We obviously have improvements on top, but it's a pure function of market makers that are sitting on top of each other and providing continuous liquidity along the curve. Again, if you go back to Paint, if there's a big price move, this bin is going to go. And if the mid is here, you're going to have like 10 to 20 basis points until the next bin, which is a shortcoming of the way this technology is designed. And again, this was designed because blockchains just couldn't support CLOBs, and now they can.
So earlier you asked me for a couple predictions. I have 2 predictions with this information. First, this is going to be our most watched VOD for sure. 1,000% most watched VOD.
Let me just jump in. Viewers went up like 5. We got at least 5 more viewers as soon as Firestorm started sharing a screen. I'm just going to say that right there.
The one thing I'm going to tell you, there was another table here, and I didn't want to drop that table just yet, but that table basically measured which of the liquidity sources I'm selecting here wins being the best price for the period that I'm pulling.
Yeah.
Now, just by looking at this picture, I think you can guesstimate it, but eventually I will like literally pull that information across a very long time horizon. And I'm going to show people once SimpleSwap reaches everybody, what % of the time it will win the market, and it will blow people's minds.
Yeah. But, I like this. I like
the same.
And my other prediction on this is that I feel like we're going to see some of these AMMs out here just turning into CLOBs eventually. Like, mark my words. It's like you see them moving closer and closer through different stuff. I bet we see at least one of them go full CLOB at some point here in the future.
I think in that sense, the paradigm shift is apparent as blockchains become faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
You no longer need a single sort of transaction-based curve, math-based trading capability. You have market makers whose job it is in TradFi to do liquidity provisioning, coming to DeFi, providing tighter prices, providing better hedging under their covers for themselves. And I actually have been seeing more CLOBs popping up in other blockchains. And I actually expect any AMM that sort of doesn't have really special tech to eventually become a CLOB. Like,
I mean, even the ones who have special tech. Well,
there are some cool things that I've seen, like which allow like liquidity to be sort of put together, etc. But yeah, like to be as capital efficient as possible. Yeah, you want to go this route with cheap transactions and high speed in terms of finality.
So one other thing, all these charts that you have right here, like I'm writing a check now that Brad's going to have to cash later, but I think we should try and do a scholar series and we can give them some of these charts to do. Maybe, I don't know. We'll let Brad make the decision on this one because he is the scholar king. But I think
true.
Firestorm, if you're willing to share this stuff.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm happy to look.
Tim.
My utopia was I wish, somebody in the community could write the code to pull the data and actually figure this out themselves. Because, like, I know that we already know this. This is the reason why we built it. But if other people arrived at this conclusion just by looking at public blockchain data, there's nothing special here, right?
Yeah.
This is data that is available for anybody to capture and look and make their own sort of decisions. And CoinGecko has it. Like, you don't even need to go fancy. Just go look at CoinGecko. 2 basis points versus 60. And like, where do you expect the volume to shift when aggregators are integrated?
Yeah, for sure.
There it is.